Hello, Kenneth is in this kitchen. Today we are serving Afan soup. For those that doesn't know, Afan soup originated and mainly consumed by people of southern part of Nigeria, more precisely the Efik people of Calabar. But it's almost like becoming a national delicacy that can be consumed by, loved by everyone around Nigeria, in fact, the whole world. So today, let's go through the process of how we can make the most delicious Afan soup. Typically, the first we do in the list is start cooking the meat. Remember, not just boiling the meat, not just parboiling the meat, sorry, but cooking the meat till it gets soft. This is the first thing you will have to do. And for this soup, I am using assorted meat. I have cow leg there, I have cow tongue, I have intestine, I have cow tripe, I have just all kinds of different assorted meat, but all from cow. Right now, as you can see, what I'm doing is cutting my spinach. Guys, I brought another spin to this spinach. As you might have noticed in the past how I do spinach, I have to blanch it because I wouldn't want to have all the water that comes from spinach into my soup. There are two reasons for that. One is that if I don't blanch the spinach, it's gonna really change the taste of the soup the way I wouldn't like, number one. Number two is that it's gonna leave my soup a little bit more watery, not just how I want it, which will really make it really necessary to keep cooking and cooking and cooking, and then of course the vegetables will lose its nutrients. So how best I have to do that is of course to blanch it, exactly what you can see I'm doing right now. And it doesn't really take much time to blanch, but it requires some energy to blanch spinach, to remove the excess water, and of course have it very fresh in your soup. Can you imagine all the water coming out from the spinach right now? Is really way too much, and this is what I would have had in my soup if I had not taken time to blanch it, just to make sure I don't overcook the vegetables, all in the name of trying to make sure the water dries up eventually. Yeah, this is how much water or juice I would say that comes from spinach, which is quite very healthy. You can drink it if you want to. While I was blanching spinach, also my meat was cooking. I cooked the meat to really get very soft. Not really so soft because eventually I have to continue cooking the soup from here. Right now I'm bringing out all the meat from the cow leg to the cow head and all parts of cow to cut them. Not just to cut them, but to get them ready because I have to cook on live stream. Right now, what I'm doing is to blend my okazi leaf. Guys, we use okazi leaf for this soup, but to use it, you either have to pound it with a mortar, or if you live in this part of the world, you don't have a choice but to blend it. Right now, what you guys can see that I'm doing is that I am on live stream, trying to, chatting with people watching me while I'm also cooking at the same time. And now I'm showing you guys the meat already that I boiled initially. I'm going to be cutting the meat right now and just be adding it in the pot to continue making the soup. This is actually the first process of making the soup. You have to really cut the meat to chunks the way you want it. And yeah, as you can see more closely looking, that was the okazi leaf that I blended, and of course this was the spinach that I blanched, and this is the juice from the spinach, which you can drink if you want to. Right now the meat is, I've cut the mixed meat completely, and now what I'm doing now is cooking already. I just washed my fish, my dry fish, and of course my stockfish, and added inside. Now crayfish is going inside. Guys, like I always say, the beauty or the taste of every good soup start with the crayfish. Now I am adding my periwinkle. In this part of the world, we don't have the best of periwinkle, but we have the dry ones, so we have to use hot water to soak it for some hours before we use. Now I just added my oil and I allowed it to continue cooking. Oil has to cook very well if you want to enjoy your soup. So typically oil should always go in before your vegetables. Oil has been cooking with the meat and all the spices inside the crayfish, the maggi, the seasoning, and all kinds of spices that I put inside before I added my spinach. As you can see, my spinach will go in, and of course my blended okazi will follow. This has to cook for just few minutes, and then we are almost done with the cooking. At this point, you don't want to overcook the vegetable, as I'm showing you guys to have a very close look of what the soup looks like. Yes, this is the close look that you guys will see of the Afan soup. One thing I try to achieve in this cooking is that I don't want the soup to be overcooked. So at this point we are using low heat. One other thing also I've achieved in this cooking is the fact that I don't have so much water coming from spinach in the soup, which would have maybe changed the taste of Afan soup from its original taste to something which is still good, but I want to retain that local taste of Afang. Also, of course, I have my blended okazi leaf. Okazi would have been best if you have mortar to pound it. You don't have to blend it in this case. That is the most local way to do it to achieve the best result. Now our soup is done, as you guys can see. It's well cooked, not overcooked. The meat is soft. The spices are have mixed well in the soup. The oil particularly have cooked well and mixed well with the vegetables and the meat, and of course all these ingredients added relates its flavor or its taste, which of course the meat absorbs. That when you are eating the meat, it gets very tasty, particularly when this is assorted meat. Assorted meat needs to be spiced up very well before it will have a very good taste. So for this soup, I made sure that it's well spiced, that you can be rest assured that you're gonna enjoy the soup by the time you are eating it. Now I am just dishing out some soup for my swallow. Guys, this was one of the best Afan soup I made. I've made Afan soup many times, but this seems to be one of the best Afan soup I'm so proud that I made, and I'll be posting. And I hope you guys will really love or try this out. Once you have access to okazi leaf wherever you live. If you don't have mortar to pound it, oh sure, you can use the blender like I did. If you don't have water leaf, you can use spinach like I did, because that is the best alternative wherever you live that don't have, of course, water leaf. Like where I live myself in Canada, we don't have water leaf, but of course we have spinach that we can always use in that place. Can you guys see how beautiful and how creamy the soup is looking? That is well cooked, and because I allow the ingredients, the vegetables, the meat to combine effectively and cooked at the right time with the right heat, one can be rest assured that this was one of the best soup you can think of. It can go with all kinds of swallow, whether it's fufu, whether it's oatmeal, whether it's semo, just name it, and get this Afan soup to try it out. I hope you guys will love to try, making the soup yourself. Love you guys. Bye.